Hi guys, my name is Josh Shabani. I'm 27 years old, I'm from New York City, and I fasted for 40 days. Let me just say, this was a journey. Before going on this fast, I was actually someone who was pretty fond on discipline.
Do it! Just do it!
I was considered a student athlete. I was a two-sport athlete in college.
That's the face of a kid whose parents went out to dinner and a silk stockings marathon just started.
I was quite frankly really watchful of all my behaviors. I was so dedicated to the craft, I remember going cold turkey for 3 years. No fat. Means no watching this stuff. It was the best I ever felt in years. But everything changed after graduation. I started taking these medications that was prescribed by my doctor. I fell back into old habits, and for the first time in my life, I started gaining an obscene amount of weight. For the first time, I was actually someone who was slowly becoming obese. It was embarrassing. I was ripping my pants and I couldn't fit some.
Rip my pants.
My intent was to lose some weight, so I came across this doctor called Prada Gymnatis. The guy advised that fasting was 100% healthy, so I took to it like a bowl.
Pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't tear the sack up, punk, you better back up, try.
I wasn't sure if I'd even make it through the 40 days. But as you learn, I actually overcame and I conquered. I had a couple vices that were in the way of me growing spiritually. This stuff and eating palatable foods, not good. I even had to tell my dad about it. And he said he would pray for me, that it was something that was very addictive. I knew I had to take care of myself and get this thing under control, or else this whole thing would spiral out of control. And there would be no telling where it'd be in my life. So in the month of February, I decided to go on a 40-day fast. I fasted before for a couple days, but nothing remotely as close to this. I even bought a planner just to make sure I was truly focused on the mission at hand. On February 5th, my birthday, I actually went to the AMC theater. I got their cheddar popcorn with their caramel popcorn, and I had a blast. We watched American Fiction, me and my twin brother, and we also went to Charles Pan Fried Chicken, and I pretty much ordered everything off the menu. I knew this would be my last major splurge on food. Then came February 9th. This was a Friday. I was at my lifeguarding gig and I decided it would be my last day. I didn't want to add any extra stress during the fast. I wanted to be focused without any temptation. I'd saved up just enough money from the summertime just to make sure that I'd be okay.
Come again, sir!
I'm getting back in line.
I would monitor the fast every 10 days up until the 40th day. At the start of the fast, I weighed a whopping 245 pounds. This weight was taken shortly after the first day. And by the 10th day, I lost 25 pounds. I was obviously shocked. Now there was no sign of stopping with me having recognized the first fruits of my losing weight. My weight's starting to drop. But something else happened during the period of this fasting that enlightened me, truly moved me. I remember how Jesus had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and now he was tested by the devil himself. I wondered to myself, can I reverse general curses that have led me to fall back into lust and gluttony? I knew it would be a true test of faith to practice. I knew for sure that God was on my side. On the last week, I found myself on my knees.
Where are you going? Vincent, we can't live side by side.
Vincent!
Our temperaments are incompatible. You must admit that.
I truly became God-fearing in the last moments of the fast because I felt sick and I felt lethargic. I have no idea what the sickness was. I just knew that I felt like I had a rope around my neck. I'd taken these herbs from this African herbal shop. I took it all the time in college, and it seemed to have helped my immune system, but this time around, it had the reverse effect. It even left behind all these bumps and hives throughout my body, near my endocrine and respiratory systems. It took about an extra week after the fast for the symptoms to really reduce and clear. So I made it through the fast by drinking a half a gallon of water a day. I made it through half the fast that way. I noticed I felt depleted and tired. I knew this wasn't supposed to happen, as you're actually supposed to feel quite blissful after the first couple of days. I remember a herbalist said something about drinking distilled water throughout fast. So by that point, I started drinking Poland Spring distilled water, which immediately reversed the effects. Ultimately, the fast was very challenging, but very blessed. I knew I had to change. I knew it was life and death in a matter of circumstances, my health and my time here. There's this quote I absolutely love by Marcus Aurelius. It says, "Be tolerant with others, but strict with yourself." Not everyone is going to understand the journey you set yourself on, and that's 100% okay. Being steadfast on your purpose and reasoning to wanting to become this version of yourself is the ultimate key. I personally prayed that God would order my steps in His Word and keep me and guide me every single day. He sent His anointing, which kept me whole. I will say God led me to undergo a very strict fast, and it was His grace that really allowed me to follow through with this, because if I did have all the subsets of responsibilities that I usually tend to throughout this period, I'm not sure if it would have went the same way. My mother would run this one channel on YouTube that would play Psalms 91 and Psalms 23. She's actually the person who motivated me to continue going through the fast, surprisingly. I say surprisingly because my mother made a lot of my favorites during this period that I couldn't have, obviously. Let's just say I felt free after the 40-day period. It literally felt like God had lifted a weight both spiritually and physically off of my body. Quite literally, actually, as I lost 55 pounds. My sister put me onto this app called Arbolief. It monitored my weight halfway through the fast, as I discovered it halfway through the fast. And it would weigh things like my visceral fat, body mass index, body fat, even my bone mass. Now, of course, there are some cautionary signs that you want to be aware of when you're undergoing a fast like this. You shouldn't feel sick and you shouldn't be starving after the first couple of days. Naturally, you want to consult a doctor to make sure that your levels are fine and you won't undergo any type of shock or anything related to that throughout the fast. I personally did not consult my doctor. I was in fear that they would restrict me from actually going through with the fast. I was quite motivated to follow through with the fast. I did check my blood samples on this app called MyChart, and everything read healthy beside my recent weight gain. Another negative about the fast was that I forgot a lot of birthdays and I didn't go out with friends much. In regards to the birthdays, you'll have to mark that in your calendar. I also didn't go onto social media that much, only because I find it spiritually exhausting sometimes. Some positives about the fast was I actually learned a couple skills, like learning how to use Premiere Pro and Photoshop. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And please like and follow for more content. Now, I should say I'm actually a home chef. So the channel will be far more geared towards me making healthy, palatable, exquisite foods and teaching you guys healthy and safe ways to prepare your foods. So stay tuned for that. As always, I love you guys and peace.